Hey, welcome to part 29 of 30 Ways to Become an Empowered Artist. Man, there's only one more to go after this one. I hope you've been hanging in there with all these lessons. This is an interesting one because I'm going to be talking about 3 reasons that you should be teaching and instructing others to do what you do in the creative world. And this aspect is not often included in typical success steps for artists, but it's something I definitely think is worth covering and will be helpful for you. So I gotta mention this real quick though. The day that I'm posting this, it's the day before my 30-day fan funding campaign ends. So if you're watching this on either July 1st or July 2nd, please click the link either below or above the video or the podcast or somewhere in the description, because it'll be in the final hours of my crowdsourcing campaign for a new book called The Empowered Artist. But as I've mentioned before, it's much bigger than just a book. It's a movement to inspire and empower creative people like you all around the planet. I would love your support, so please click the link and find out how you can help. So I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about 2 or 3 different ways that you can use teaching or instructing others to fuel your own career as an empowered artist. And I know not everyone is cut out to teach or they don't feel comfortable with it. Some people are more drawn to it than others, but no matter where you exist on that teaching scale, just hear me out here. So the first reason that it's a good idea to consider teaching others is it's a way for you to pay it forward. It's a way for you to inspire other people to also become empowered artists. Because to me, it's just not about making myself feel good as a creative person or just to make yourself feel good. It's a movement to raise the status and the value of creative people of all kinds throughout society. So that means that many people need to step into their brilliance, to recognize the gifts and the talents that they have that need to be shared with the world. So in addition to expressing yourself and sharing your own gifts, it's kind of a cool thing for you to pass that on and inspire other people to do the same thing. So instead of hoarding it all to yourself, and this is my technique and my discipline and my thing, teach others. Look, hey, if I can do this, you can too. And seriously, if I can do everything that I've done with my art, my creativity, and my writing, it's certainly within your abilities to do so. So that's sort of the good Samaritan aspect of teaching. It's just a good thing to do in general. But here are a couple more practical reasons. Reason number 2 is that teaching will actually attract more fans. It will expand your audience, especially if you teach and instruct in some sort of public forum, like through YouTube videos or through public workshops, or maybe through a book of your own that you've written and published. And a lot of the people who are initially attracted to you because you're teaching what you do will become fans and customers, and they'll actually purchase your stuff. I mean, I know a ton of guitar players who teach and they create, workshops, DVDs, YouTube videos. And a lot of their core fan base, paying customers, are actually these students who will buy their albums, buy their instructional materials, and so on. But the same can be said for writers and visual artists and other creative disciplines. When people are interested in your particular craft and they are curious about how you do what you do, they become more familiar with you and they appreciate you. And those are the types of people who are much more inclined to support you in many ways. So teaching can definitely widen your audience. In fact, I guess you could say I've built my whole career on that. Of course, I'm a nonfiction author primarily, so my business is based on instructing people, but I do that in many ways, through my books, through my blog posts, through podcasts, through videos like this. And by freely giving away little chunks of advice and instruction, month after month, year after year, I've built an audience. And then those who are really serious about it will pay me for the full book or the full course or the live workshop or whatever. And so even if your business isn't information-based, or you write fiction or you make films or whatever, I bet you there's some way that you can teach and instruct others what you do as a sideline. It may not be the core of your business like it is for me, but you can make it some aspect of it to bring people into your tent so they become members of your tribe. And then the third reason that you might want to teach is to make money from doing it. There's a concept. It may end up being just one of many streams of income for you, but it could help fuel your full-time or even your part-time efforts as an artist, whatever your discipline is. In fact, last year I interviewed a visual artist from Portland. Her name's Flora Bowley, and she had already gotten to the point where she was a full-time artist, supporting herself from selling her paintings through the normal channels. Then one of her fans or friends asked her if she would teach a workshop. She said, okay, why not? And the workshop was more about just painting techniques. Her whole thing was freeing yourself to be creative and tapping into your intuition and just allowing yourself to be bold and creative with your work. The workshop went great. She did more of them. Suddenly there was a demand for these learning experiences that she was creating. That eventually led to a book deal, which got her out into a wider audience. And now it's a good chunk of what she does. She's created online courses in addition to the live workshop. So you just never know what role teaching will play in your overall business model. But if you really haven't explored this option yet, I highly encourage you to look into it, consider it, dabble in it, see how it goes. So there you have it, the 3 reasons you should consider using teaching and instructing and inspiring others in your creative career. 1 is to pay it forward and just pass on the good vibe of encouraging people to be creative in their lives. 2, it can help you attract a fan base and an audience, many of whom will pay you. And 3, it could be an income source for you. Because as I mentioned in an earlier segment, having multiple streams of income is far better than relying on one particular thing to supply all of your living expenses. So I hope you found this helpful. Feel free to share the link to this video or audio podcast with any of your creative friends who could use the information. Feel free to leave a comment if you'd like. Like I said at the beginning, if it's July 1st or 2nd, click that link to find out how you can get into the official fan funding campaign that I'm running. However, if it's after July 2nd, click the link anyway because there will still be some ongoing activities related to this movement of empowering artists around the globe. I really appreciate you listening. I'll be back tomorrow with the final segment in 30 Ways to Become an Empowered Artist. I'm Bob Baker saying so long for now.